This is TWiT.
You want to talk about headphones?
Why not?
Whenever Patrick's here, I kind of use him as my headphone expert.
I feel so used.
I remember back in the day when you told me to buy those Grados. You've gone far beyond Grado, right?
Yeah, my lifestyle is unhinged at this point.
I do have, and I like those, what are they called? The Hi-Fi Man planar, is it planar?
Planar magnetics?
I like those.
You need to hear the new ones, the Aeon from Mr. Speakers.
How much are those?
$800.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, you know, for
That's
you.
not bad.
But how many times have you changed your flagship phone this year? How many times? How many phones?
No, I am still with the iPhone 10. I haven't left the iPhone 10.
Whoa, time out. I would just every day. This is a big moment. You've had this phone for how long?
Well, I've had others. I had the Xiaomi P20, and I had the Samsung Note 8, and then I had the Samsung S9 Plus, and then I had the Pixel 2 XL. But I really like that iPhone 10. I've had that since it came out in September. So it's been
That's approximately
it's been 9 months.
Okay, so you've had this one phone for 9 months. And another $3,200 in flagship phones, assuming you didn't max out the configurations on those. So what I'm saying is Leo, you can swing a world-class pair of headphones made in San Diego, California.
Mans.
But you might like these better.
Really?
Yeah, actually.
All right. But I have the Sennheisers. Now we're going to talk wireless.
Yeah, we're not talking
how
about
much, first of all, of a sacrifice am I making going from wired to wireless?
Okay, so a couple of years ago, I would have been like,
yeah, I really don't like what Bluetooth does.
Yeah. Well, what's nice about it is there's a bunch of things going on. If you're on the iPhone, it's basically the shortest, least like going down a rabbit hole that I can get is if you are in an incredibly quiet environment and you are listening to your FLAC files or Tidal.
The uncompressed.
Yeah, the uncompressed audio, and you're a critical listener, you may still prefer a wired headphone. For the vast majority of people, I'm on a bus, I'm walking to work, I'm in an office, I have children in the house, there are giant fan systems, blah, 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 blah. The wireless stuff is fantastic and way better than it used to be.
And is that because we've got a better Bluetooth codec now? Or
well, there's Bluetooth, there's aptX, there's aptX HD. You know,
so
there's
that's
some
one
other
of the
stuff
reasons,
going on.
Right?
Yeah, that's one of the things. Also, yeah, Bluetooth sucks so much less than it used to.
And
I'm actually going to say Bluetooth doesn't really suck anymore. I think about that a lot because I've been using. As you get into like Bluetooth 4 and Bluetooth 4 low energy, and you start getting towards Bluetooth 5, things get really. They get better. They just get a lot better.
Yeah. Now, there is a massive convenience, as you point out, to not having a wire. You can go walk around. Yeah. You can do stuff. I mean, for best audiophile experience, you probably want a wired headphone.
Probably
but
want a
for
wired
convenience, these aren't so bad. So this is the Sennheiser?
This is the Sennheiser HD1. This is probably my favorite wireless headphone right now. These sell for about $399. They're from
pretty
Sennheiser.
Good for, I mean, not for Bluetooth headphones.
Right.
But
I mean, you can get a nice pair of $100 Bluetooth headphones.
These are widely agreed to be the best Bluetooth headphones out there.
If there is a better set of Bluetooth headphones, or wireless, I should say wireless, because you can be running aptX on these rather than Bluetooth. If there's a better wireless headphone out there, I'm not sure I've found it yet. Okay. Like my one complaint about these is you can't turn off the active noise cancellation.
Oh, that's annoying.
That's annoying. But the reality is it's really, really good. But it's also,
feels like it's sucking my brains out.
The nice thing about this, so one of the whole...
Doesn't it? When you put it on,
no. But that was my complaint for years with active noise cancellation. It is still kind of a complaint with the Bose stuff. Like Bose, they're like, we are going to give you factor 10 noise reduction. And that's the brain suckage. When it's like 30 dBs of attenuation and you're like, you're feeling like I've stepped into an anarchy and everything's wrong. So
these don't do that.
Yeah, well, I would also say a lot of the Bose products, like the last one I listened to was one of their in-ears. It was like a $200 set of in-ears. And I thought, you know, these are amazing. I really can't hear the jet engines on the plane. And, you know, that's cool. I can read my book and it's quiet on the plane. Yeah, and I can listen to an audiobook and I can hear the audiobook over the plane. But as soon as I put on the Bose music on the Bose, I went, wow, the bass is really sloppy and it's over-extenuated. And the high end sucks and the mid-range is kind of weak. And why the...
No highs, no lows. It's Bose.
So Which brings us to, there are lots of options.
That's not their slogan.
For not much more money than the atrocious sounding Bose. So the Sennheiser HD1, so they have active noise cancellation, you can't turn it off, but it's very, very good. It's not particularly offensive.
It's not annoying.
It's not annoying. It doesn't screw up the music.
It is on a plane a great thing.
It is a fantastic thing on a plane. It's a fantastic thing in an office if you have air conditioning.
If there's a hum.
Yeah.
It doesn't work with like babies crying or people talking to you. It works with consistent noise.
It works best with consistent noises. Yeah, and so you know, these, you know, they've got like the leather ear pads and the stylish band here and stainless steel.
Actually, that's my complaint about these. I don't think they look very good.
Well, you know, considering compared to some of the headphones that are out there, these are at least understated.
They look better than the Grados. But.
Yeah, well, the Grados, I love Grados because they look so much like Grados. They're such like an artifact of the 1960s, and they're beautiful for that. You know, I love the fact that these have a volume control, and I'm going to point that out because...
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, nice, rich, full bass, detailed highs, good sound staging. This is a really impressive...
Are you allowed to use Bluetooth on a plane? Isn't that a radio?
As far as no one's tried to kick me out of the plane for using Bluetooth. If you are an expert, please email and don't arrest me.
These are a little weird.
These started out as a Kickstarter project, yeah. So let me show you. The thing that freaks people out about these
this is
Nura,
Nuraphone, Nuraphone.
My wife saw these for the first time. She's like, honey, it looks kind of obscene.
Yeah, it looks like...
I was like, get Georgia Keefe out of your brain. But
no,
these are, this is a...
It's the other one.
Yeah.
It's an outie, not an innie. I'm just saying. Goes right in your ear.
So many terrible places we can go.
Goes right in your ear.
So this is essentially This
is like mixing the best of in-ear monitors and over-the-ear headphones.
Yeah,
the worst.
So there's basically there's the in-ear that kind of presses into your ear, and there's this over-ear and ear cups. There's kind of like 2 layers of insulation between your ear and the outside.
So it really gives you isolation.
Yeah. What it also does is they have a full range driver that goes directly in your ear, and then they have what basically amounts to a subwoofer or a discrete woofer. And you can actually adjust the woofer up or down to get the intensity you want.
The low end is not going into your ear, it's going around.
It's going into your ear, but it's also going around your ear, and you can turn up the low end. I think of it as a loudness switch. The folks at Nuraphone would like to call it intensity. What's really interesting about these is when you set up the application, you connect the Bluetooth, you make sure it's updated, and what it does is it makes sure you have a good seal around your ear. And you do get a really good seal around your ear because you got the little thing poking into your ear. And the next thing it does is it runs a series of test tones in your ear and just like an otoacoustic measurement of the response from your ear.
So it's giving you a sound test?
Essentially. And what they do is they listen to the reflections. Essentially, they're listening to the vibrations from the CLI in your ear that react to the sound they send into your ear. And the idea is that that thing you're looking at is their instead of sort of having like, you know, you're down 30 dB at 10 hertz and you're up 30 dB at, well, 10 hertz. Nobody can hear 10 hertz.
But how would it know that? Because what the cilia are doing is not, it feels like...
If it works for measuring...
If I have nerve damage that makes me not be able to hear at a certain level, why would that know?
If the hearing's gone completely, there's not a lot they can do. If you have a reduced response...
It's like mapping a cave by sending ultrasound into the cave.
And it's because... what got me to reviews is somebody's like, are these legit or are they just woo?
Marketing just another one of those Kickstarter woo things.
And well, so otoacoustic measuring is essentially, there's a couple different ways of doing it, but it's how, for example, you measure hearing response in children that can't speak yet.
That makes
sense. Science. It is science used by audiologists. I cannot say to you that this is a fantastic, you know...
Although when I go to an audiologist, they're using the old school, raise your hand when you hear the tone.
That's because you're an adult.
Some would disagree.
That's not an argument we're going to get into in this show. But in any case, what they're saying is that they send signal in, they listen for the vibrations
How long does it take to get that?
A minute.
Okay.
You know,
does it sound like anything?
It sounds like, you know,
whooshing.
Have you ever run like an Odyssey test for an AV receiver where just a bunch of tones, stuff happens in your ear, you make a puzzled face like the RCA dog, and then what it does is it creates a custom fit. And it does.
Did you find it was pretty accurate for you?
I found it was certainly a much better listening experience after it had customized itself to my ear than before.
Nice.
And I also, it was funny because there's these little vents on the outside. You can barely see them. They're in between the ear cup and the silicone. So these are actually, this is the part that I love. I love saying this, Tesla valves. They're one-way valves, and what happens is they let air in at the bottom and air out at the top, and the idea is that it sort of keeps us a little bit cooler. Sounds ridiculous, probably is, but I just love saying Tesla valves. But I had left the wrapping on these, because I always leave the wrapping on, and by covering these valves, I completely screwed up the response of the headphone, and because I ran the initial test, and I was like, this is awful! And then I'm like, wait a minute, pulled the plastic
Tesla valves
off.
weren't uncovered.
My Tesla valves weren't uncovered. When I uncovered the Tesla valve, it responded appropriately and tuned everything the way it was supposed to be.
So how they cost the same as the Sennheisers?
They do cost the same as the Sennheisers.
Do they sound better?
I don't think they sound better. I think they sound very, very good. I think the thing about these is whether or not because one of the things they just did with these is there's a pretty powerful DSP in this. There's some pretty powerful processing in this. And for example, they just did a software update that added active noise cancellation to these headphones. Nice. Yeah, pretty slick. So not only do you have like 2 layers of passive noise blocking here, you also have the active noise cancellation.
Can I try them on, or
Absolutely.
is it too intimate?
Leo, after the years we've spent together and the things we've done, this is the least intimacy I'm worried about at this point.
Hi, Patrick, I didn't know you cared.
Are they still warm?
It said, welcome back, Patrick.
Yeah.
Battery 80%.
Well, they're going to sound, they're not going to sound.
Can you do the test on me? No, because it'll screw them up.
I can do the test on you.
The reason I want to try them is I want to see how comfortable. They're fairly comfortable.
They're fairly comfortable.
It is a little weird that you're wearing over your headphones and there is something sticking into your ear.
Yes.
Do you have to adjust them to fit your ear better, or does
you just sort of smoosh them around? There's actually a test that runs as you move them around to get them to the point where everything is sealed.
Okay.
Yeah. Oops. It helps if I'm actually attached to
Turn it up. It sounds good.
What are we? Oh, yeah. I don't think you want to hear Queens of the Stone Age. You might. Here, we'll get something. Have a little amber rhubarb. That'll make you happy.
No, it's too low. Turn it way up.
Here, I'll do something that won't blow your eardrums to the center of your skull.
It actually sounds very good.
Yeah. And that's in the neutral. That isn't even with the customization.
It sounds very good. There's a nice low end. It's the sound stage is very good. It's a good crisp sound. I'm listening. It's like plucking strings, so I'm really hearing those as if they're really there. That's quite good.
It's a really nice recording. It's Amber Rhubarth. Song's called
Barth, you said?
Amber Rhubarth.
Andrew Rhubarth.
Amber. A-M-B.
Oh, she's good.
Amber Rhubarth.
What did you say?
Sessions from the 17th floor. It's a Chesky recording. It's a really fantastic recording, especially when listening to headphones.
It stopped. It knows.
Yeah. Oh, you touched the button and you turned it off. That's one of the downsides. There's a button here that you can tap on and a button here you can tap on. And you can basically have 2 functions. So there's no volume control in the headphones themselves, which when I started using the Sennheisers, I realized how nice it is to be able to lower the volume and raise the volume without having to have your phone.
You know what's interesting? I'm listening at a level I would lower than I would normally listen, but because the reproduction is so good, it actually sounds fine. I mean, once I got used to the fact that it's a little lower.
It's one of the advantages of
I feel like I'm there.
Yeah. It's a really nice recording. It's a nice headphone. How do you feel about, do you feel things poking in your ears, or had you forgotten until I reminded you?
I have a feeling it might bug me. It's not, I'm not sure I'll get used to it. It's definitely an odd experience. I mean, it's in your ear.
It is in your ear.
Yeah. It's interesting. So those are $399, so are the Sennheisers.
So are the Sennheisers.
They're a more traditional style, but maybe you want some Tesla baffles and audio testing in your ear. That was your curve or just a flat curve?
That should have been a flat curve.
Okay, okay. Sounded good. Nura, N-U-R-A-P-H-O-N-E, Nuraphone.
One last thing before we go.
Yes.
This is the Blue Wave Get.
I'm going to run and get this because this looks like what I want. This is a Bluetooth adapter.
Yeah, if you have a Bluetooth aptX HD. If
it does aptX?
Yeah.
Are there any phones that do aptX? Yes, I know the iPhone does.
A whole lot, actually.
Oh, there are. So you have to get an Android
They're all
device.
Android.
Yeah.
And actually a bunch of them do aptX HD now, which is the next generation of aptX. So this is, it is a DAC. It is a headphone amplifier. It is a very, very nice DAC. It's a headphone amplifier. It's battery powered.
Wow.
They said they'll sell you some short cables so you can just attach this. If you wanted to say attach this to your headphone and just carry it around that way.
Or I would just put it in my breast pocket maybe and have a little wire going from that to the...
And this is the Blue Wave Get. It's $129.
So that could make any headphone wireless.
Bingo. So if you have a set of headphones you love and you don't want to
even my Hi-Fi Man. Maybe not, because those are pretty high end.
This will drive the Hi-Fi Man.
Really?
Yeah. May not drive them to, they may not drive it to the point where your eardrums will meet in the center of your skull, but you should be able to get uncomfortably loud with this.
All right.
So.
Let me see that. How much is this?
That is $129. Occasionally, they did at least one mass drop. They had it down at 100.
Wow.
Those are coming out of Montreal, Canada, and
I actually,
it's really nicely made.
I like the idea of a headphone amplifier.
And it's got a microphone.
They can make a big difference. Oh, so I could press a button and hear the flight attendant.
Well, no, you can make phone calls with it. I haven't tried pressing a button to hear the
Not that kind of microphone. Yeah. Okay, it's not ambient sound. But you could make phone calls, and if it's clipped, I notice it has a very convenient clip. So if it's clipped somewhere near your mouth,
yes,
this would actually be pretty. I might get one of these.
It's
so then you
slick.
can use your wired headphones, and they'd be wireless. Walk around.
How amazing is
I like that? Yeah. All right.
That's a bluewaveaudio.ca.
Bluewaveaudio.ca.
So.
All right. Now I have to just get some aptX head.
You probably had at least one or two of the phones you have.
Maybe one of those ones I mentioned. Yeah.